Chin. Some greasy shit. You ain't got no better food like some chicken wings, some baby back ribs, some fries or something?
Chinese food, no soul food here.
I didn't say nothing about no soul food. I said you got some better food. I don't want that greasy shit. How you gonna sell a big box of grease?
Do a couple of just miscellaneous film honors or mentions of interesting films that make use of food or about food, or usually in my case, just get something wrong about food in a really weird way.
Yeah, let's see what we have here. Roast beef, and usually it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Try some, Jerry, and pass it around. Save a little time, we might pass both ways. Captain, I don't know how you feel about this shrimp, but if you'll eat it, you'll never have to prove your courage in any other way.
Do you agree that eating shrimp heads is the only way you ever have to prove yourself as a man? Would you like to try? Because to me, this is not a test to me. This is a bunch of deep fried shrimp heads.
Yeah.
I fucking love this shit. Oh, and the one thing, before I started this, I should have said, Tampopo is the best food movie of all time, right?
It gets mentioned a lot, yeah.
Oh?
Yeah, I would say Eat, Drink, Man, Woman is the first one that came to mind, and it's interesting that you mentioned Tampopo because this is also a film that is not Western cuisine, but it's a film that's I've known fairly well in North America, and I think that's kind of some of the tension, which is like you're watching this like food that looks so appetizing, but you also recognize that like you may not be part of that culture, and there is kind of an awareness.
I guess
of
this
that
is
distance.
I think most of the good films probably are not based on Western cuisine.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely.
I've never seen.
But I think Eat, Drink, Man, Woman had a fairly decent theatrical run in America. Kind of.
Well, that's David Letterman made like a good joke about that when he hosted the Oscars.
One of the pictures nominated tonight for Best Foreign Film, as you know, Eat, Drink, Man, Woman. Coincidentally, as I understand it, this is also how Arnold Schwarzenegger asked Maria Shriver out on their first date.
So it definitely was like a popular film at the time.
Yeah, and I think part of that was kind of an ethnic, almost fetishization of the food, but in the film it's so ritualistic, it's part of the culture in a way that you're not privy to. It's almost instructional.
This is the opening scene of the film. This is the film Gamer, which I think is actually smarter than the film Inception. This kid. This actually, okay, this doesn't look appetizing, this is kind of revolting. But then later, when this kid gets arrested...
Could you guys do a sandwich like peanut butter, almond butter, walnut butter, pecan butter, pistachio butter, pretty much any kind of, nut butter with some grape jelly.
Pistachio butter. They make that?
It's awesome.
Yeah, so weirdly enough, Gamer, very educational in terms of I hadn't even thought about the potential kinds of nut butters that exist, and now I'm annoyed that I don't see pistachio butter. I had hazelnut milk when I was in Barcelona, and you can't get it here, and it's changed my life.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the Tom Jones kind of proto 9.5 weeks, sexualized feast scene.
Whatever high ideals we may have of them are mortal, not divine. We are all as God made us, and many of us much worse.
That's why I don't see crab as a sexy food to eat with anyone. That's like, eating crab's legs in Florida is the exact opposite of sexiness.
But it has like all the interesting English preoccupations though, which is that like, you know, even when they're fine dining, they want it to be like, they want to hide the amount of like money or the pomp and circumstance.
The final film, I think this is a kind of lifetime achievement award that I'm giving to a film that is extremely perplexing and funny to me. And that film is the action movie Cobra, starring Sylvester Stallone. So this scene, this woman has just been almost killed by a bunch of psycho New World Order thugs.
There's some cake over there. No, take the cheese.
What? And they're just fighting over the food in the hospital room.
You're done with this, aren't you?
Yes.
We're going to a safe house. Want me to help you with this? Would like?
No.
Would you like health food?
Even in the context of a scene about a girl putting way too much ketchup on her fries, which this acknowledges, even in the context of that scene, there was still way too much ketchup going on these fries. Like, there's about 35 seconds of just pure ketchup squeezing before...
It's for a large family. You have a life preserver.
What?
Your French fries drown in there.
Right, this moment right here.
But it's weird, like, it's a period where, like, of course you get the health nut, everyone was a health nut. There was this bougie aspirationalism, and they're all going for it, and it's like, they need to offset it somehow, like, that's the whole point, like, in taking control of your destiny, like, I'm gonna eat healthy, that's part of, like, the workout regime, right? And but, like, she's, like, accessible, like, you can almost see, like, she's putting all that on there to be accessible to the audience, like, she's the identification point. Like, yeah, like, we love to put a lot of ketchup on our French fries, like, that's all we've got, like, is that she's dressed to, like, the nines, and she's just, like, where is she? Like, she's in the South, or where are they?
I can only imagine Chicago sustaining a proper New World Order psycho gang. I don't see that happening.
Okay, so she's a girl from Chicago with da bears, and she needs to, like, appeal to that audience, but even though she's so well dressed, like, it's like they were trying to combine this, like, desire for wealth in the 80s with an accessibility in these films, because most people watching them would not be part of that boys billionaires club.
There you go, Chris Herron, able to put any stupid thing in a film, probably out of craziness and laziness, into a proper cinematic and historical context. Everyone should check out www.the7thart.org.
Yeah.
Spelt with letters.
Yes.
And 7th Art on Twitter. Like, thank you so much for coming by.
Kind of good. Need a little hot sauce, but it's kind of good though. What you got?
Camel's hump.
What?
Camel's hump.